Hey guys, what's up? Vero here. So I did a video like this probably a month or so ago where we kind of went over my Mercy footage together, talked about the good things I did, the bad things I did, the really dumb things I did, and I kind of gave like Mercy tips and stuff, but I really wanted to start a series on my channel where I kind of do this just in general, just going over some of my own footage and kind of, just going over what I did right and what I did wrong and what I could have done better. And this is a game on King's Row. I think it's before the patch. I don't remember. But I think I recorded it like a day or two before the patch. But I don't remember. I didn't write it down. I forgot. But this ended up being a really good game. I got some really awesome reses off. And some really bad ones. But we're just going to kind of go over it and how I did and what I could improve on and kind of give you guys some tips along the way. And I hope you guys enjoy. So we are obviously on defense. Of course, they had a freaking May and she immediately walled us up. But we push out onto the point a little bit, or at least to the choke, I guess would be the accurate word for it. As you can see, we had kind of an interesting comp. So here I'm just trying to top everybody off. People were just not cooperating, and I'm pretty sure I was the only healer this entire game, so that kind of sucked. It did not go very well in the beginning. At the choke, it was just not going well. Okay, now we have a Zen, so at least we have another healer. But it was kind of one of those things that was just, we just couldn't get past it. We just weren't being aggressive at the right points, and I think if we had like a Ryan or something, maybe that would have helped. But, I'm basically just flying around like a crazy person, healing everyone and their mom, and trying to top everybody off, and boosting anyone that I can just in hopes that we get the picks. Here I do get my res, and of course I don't use it because there's only one person dead. The only way I would single res somebody is if I'm about to die, because with the new patch updates, you kind of get that immunity, so it helps. Which is nice. And here I probably wouldn't really res at the choke anyway, unless we were actually making a really solid push and we needed more bodies than they had. Otherwise, I'm just holding on to my res because to me it seemed like a waste to res them. But we're still trying to get past the damn choke. Our Zenyatta though ended up swapping to Reinhardt, so now I am definitely single healing. But I think that was a really good swap on his part because we really needed another tank that was going to push in and allow us to push in, because I think the other team had a Bastion. So it definitely helped. And then our Zarya did an ult, and our Ryan just goes ball to the wall in, and he actually does a pretty good job. I hide because I hear a lot of ults going off. And as you can see, I'm constantly panning the camera left and right so I can see, if anything's coming after me, like what I can do. And then I run in, top everybody off again. And here I actually could have rezzed the Rhine. But it's probably good that I didn't because May ended up using her ult. And I got stuck in it. Whoops. Which thankfully the Zarya bubbled me. Thank you, Zarya. And I was fine. You see that I swapped to my weapon real quick in case I need to do some pew-pewing. Because sometimes you gotta pew-pew. You just gotta pew-pew sometimes. But everybody comes back in. We're able to push them back a little bit. And we take the point, which was pretty awesome. So I definitely think Zen swapping to Ryan helped so much. And then our lovely Hanzo ended up killing the Bastion with his ult, which is good enough for me. You'll notice I tend to tab a lot, especially if their team dies, because I want to see if they pick anything else, because if I need to see like if a Genji or a Tracer or just some sort of a flanker or something that I'm not going to like is going to be coming for my booty. And then here I killed, I ended up killing Reaper. I probably could have healed the Hanzo to top him off to kill him, but I didn't because I didn't want to. Pretty much. I probably could have gave him a little bit and then killed him, but yeah, whatever. It wasn't really a dire situation that if he died, it was a big deal. And then you'll notice our Ryan pushes too far up, and then their Ryan comes. And I'm running to him, and I really wanted to res them because there's two down, but I couldn't get over there without dying. And then as you see, I try to get closer, and then I get picked. And so here I'm able to res, so I res two people, and I try to get to them. I come over to the Zarya because at least she can shield me if I'm with her. you know, in theory. I mean, she was shielding me earlier, so I had faith in the Zarya that she would shield me. And look, now we're on fire. But I ended up getting pinned. But I didn't die. But then I died. So, you know, we tried. We kind of got trapped in that corner, and I probably should not have followed the Zarya in there, because I ended up getting trapped with her, and it was an easy pick for them to kind of get, which sucked. But look, I'm almost at 5,000 healing. So good at this game. I'm being really sarcastic, in case you were not sure. But I go up to Hanzo to top him off, and then I'm trying to get to the poor Rhine that is just so low, and top him off, and then he decides to line of sight me. And then I kind of... But the Mei wall kind of helped me in my favor, because I was able to kind of hide a little bit. I'm just trying to heal him through it. I thought I was out of it, but I ended up not being. But I'm so close to res again, so it didn't seem to matter. And our Ryan's kind of off in the distance. Now, you'll notice I do not chase people to heal them. If I can get to them and I'm able to get out safely, I'll go to them. Otherwise, you're pretty much on your own. Because if I'm going to save you and we both die, that's 2 picks that they just got, instead of the 1 that they could have had, if that makes sense. So that's usually why you'll notice sometimes I don't chase people. Like, if they want to heal, they can come to me. I see the Rhine coming, so I swapped to my weapon just in case. And their Mercy ends up rezzing, and I almost have res too. Which I don't use just because they were set up in a way that if I res somebody, they would have died, because we didn't have like the Rhine shield or anything, or even Zarya to bubble them. You'll notice I tried to get that shield on the ground, but someone took it. I was like, no, I wanted it. Their Roadhog ended up coming behind and murdering me, which was not fun. No one likes a murderous Roadhog, but I mean, is there really any other kind? I don't know. So I slowly walk my little butt back. But I do have res, so as long as my team, even if my team dies before I get there, since again I'm the only healer, I can at least res them, which in a competitive match, I would probably call out, if you're gonna die together, because it's easier to get a res off. But in quick play, it's whatever. So I zoom my little butt all in with Guardian and try and top everybody off, because again, I'm the only healer. So I try to make sure that people are topped off. I try to prioritize tanks over anybody else, unless the DPS is really, really low. Obviously, then I'll top them off. But a tank is where you're really going to get your ult charge from, which here I don't really need it, so it didn't really matter. But I see the Reaper up there. So I'm trying to, like, hide, but it's not really working. Everyone's dying. Our poor Zarya is dead. I was going to go in for a res, but I forgot about the Bastion, and he came and shot me in the face. So what I should have done, which I'll do in a second, is go in that corner room and hide there instead. But I didn't do that, so that was my fault. So here we have 2 down, but I don't rush in to res them, because I would rather have the res for the actual push when we get a pick, because in that way, if we take down 2 of their people and they take 2 of our people down, but I res, okay, we have 6 people, they only have 4, so, you know, we have numbers on our side. So people are getting picked again. I'm hiding behind this Rhine shield, because my life does actually depend on it. I res them, because I'm able to get close enough. And then I'm trying to help this poor little Hanzo, but it was not happening. Sorry, Hanzo. I'm able to top off the Zarya. And you'll notice when I'm healing, I'm always turning my camera, because you don't have to actually face somebody to heal them. That way you can see threats incoming, or you can see, like, if a teammate's maybe behind you and they're low and you don't see them. Or if we have a Pharah, I'm healing somebody and I'm looking up just to see if she needs it, or if there's like a Widowmaker or whatever. So I'm always turning my camera, because you don't need to face somebody to heal them, which I think is awesome. So this Reaper kind of chases after us, and then I hear the Bastion ult go off, and this time I hide in the corner. I just sit there, and I wait. And 3 people died, but one of them, you can see their body, like, falling. So I was like, oh, never mind. But then another person dies, so I'm just like, okay, we'll go for the triple. But then, you know, Reaper kind of ulted them. And I'm trying to get up to the Junkrat to save my booty, and he saved my booty, and I was very thankful for that. So that ended up not being a very successful res, because we ended up dying, but you can get res so quickly, especially with especially if you're like the only healer. So, you know, sometimes you're gonna do a res and it's gonna be a horrible res and your team's gonna die and you're just like, I'm so freaking sorry. And then other times you do a res and you take the point and you win the game and they're just like, wow, you're awesome. Or they just don't even notice and they're just like, yay, team. And that happens. Like, that's just how, this is just how it is sometimes with res. Either you got a good one or you got a bad one, or you got one that's like, okay, that was, I probably could have held that. But, I mean, that's why I like doing things like this, where I kind of go over my footage, especially with you guys, because then I think you guys can learn as well from things that I do, hopefully. But here I'm healing her, and I'm trying to poke my head up to the Ryan because I saw him putting pressure on the Reaper. Alright, we're down to 30 seconds here. Our Ryan just pushes in. Our lovely Zarya does an ult. Their Roadhog does an ult, so I use the payload to body block anything that could hit me. I just hide behind it. You can crouch behind it, whatever you need to do. And I ended up getting off the triple res because I was not taken in that. Sometimes you have to be kind of aggressive as Mercy in the sense of being with your team. Especially at a point like this, because right here we're down to overtime. And I'm the only healer, so I can't leave the point. Thankfully the Zarya is bubbling me. But here... this ends up being a very long overtime. So I'm basically circling around the payload, changing my course of direction anytime I can get. Here I thought I was going to die, but I ended up positioning myself well enough that I didn't die from the Diva ult. But I'm basically twirling around the playing Ring Around the Rosie, essentially, with their team. Trying to stay alive. Thankfully the Zarya does bubble me as often as she can. Getting my ult charge, which is awesome. Just consistently changing my direction, because a Mercy you can't find is a Mercy you can't kill. So if you're constantly staying in one spot, they're going to call out your position and murder you. So always move. Thankfully Ryan put his shield up, bless him, and I was able to hide behind it. You'll notice I hold on to my res way too long because I can't decide, should I res or should I not? And I should have resed. We probably still would have not gotten it. Spoiler, we lose. Especially when I was getting really low. And if this was during the new patch, I probably would have done a res just so I could stay alive, but I'm pretty sure this was before it, because otherwise I would have resed. But I should have resed there because my team ends up dying, and I'm not able to basically get back to the point in time to save their butts. So that ended up being a wasted res, and I could have resed, and I didn't, and I felt so bad. I don't know if it would have won us the game, but it would have kept us in overtime longer. So sometimes you have to single res, and I should have, and I didn't. And our lovely Hanzo got play the game. Good for him. Which he did a really good ult. But this is a match I like to call Payload Dance, because we were all dancing around that payload forever, it felt like. But I ended up doing 13,000 healing, almost 14,000, which isn't too bad. You know, what can you do? I give it up to the Bastion, though. And then I got 5 votes, which I thought was really nice, and I did 36% of the healing. So I was really happy with that. But I ended up getting 10 resurrects. I had a lot of 3-person reses, which I think was really nice. You can see my ping also jumps up at the end. It says like 1600. I can't wait to get new internet. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll go over some other footage that I have, maybe like some Mercy and some Zen and Lucio, and I've been learning how to play Ana and Zarya and Diva and just any kind of hero you want if there's a specific one that you want to see. It has to be one that I can actually play. This isn't pick my hero, this has to be one that I can actually play, and I will try and get some footage, because I'm always recording when I'm playing just because, like, why not? You know, sometimes you get awesome footage, and sometimes you just get really derpy footage that you can just put in a video anyway, and just be like, hey guys, look at how derpy I was today. Enjoy. But that ended up being a really good match. Even though we lost, I think it was a really enjoyable game, and I think we did pretty well. My reses could have been a little bit better. I did have a couple that were kind of not good, and I ended up holding on to my res at the end way too long, which is something I do often. I hold on to my res way too long, and I'm trying to get better about just using it and just being like, F it, I'm all res. and pray for the best. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and you want to see more videos like this. Don't forget to check out my previous video. I always have to look over to OBS to make sure I'm actually pointing in the direction that I'm trying to. And check out my Overwatch playlist. Maybe I'll put my Mercy playlist. I think I have a Mercy playlist. If not, I'll make one and I'll put it up in the corner. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope your placements are going well for you. I haven't done mine yet, but when I do, we'll have some competitive footage coming up on both console and PC. Oh, snap. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye. All I do is raise, no matter what.